Everyone is talking about Intel 18A as a comeback. But if you look closely, this is not just a comeback story, it's a survival story. Because Intel 18A is not just another process node. It is a moment where we can find out whether Intel can still compete at the leading edge of the semiconductor manufacturing, or whether the industry has already moved on without them. This is one of the most important topics in the semiconductor industry right now, and in this video I want to look at what Intel 18A actually means. Not just as a new technology, but as a turning point for Intel and potentially for the industry. When people hear 18A, they usually focus on the number, but the number itself, 18 angstrom, is roughly 1.8 nanometers, is mostly branding. What matters is the architecture behind it. With 18A, Intel introduces a RibbonFET, its version of gate-all-around transistors, replacing the FinFET structure used for over the decade. At the same time, it introduces PowerVia, backside power delivery. This is critical because in advanced nodes today, a very large portion of routing layers is already consumed by power and interconnects. By moving power to the backside, Intel frees up space for signal routing, improving both efficiency and density. This combination is expected to deliver roughly 10 to 50% better performance per watt, along with noticeable improvements in effective scaling. So this is not a small improvement. It is a structural redesign of the chip architecture. What makes 18A particularly ambitious is how Intel is implementing these changes. In the semiconductor industry, transitions are typically staged. One major innovation at the time. Intel is doing both at once: new transistor architecture and new power delivery. This significantly increases risk, because each of these technologies is already complex to bring into the production. Combining them creates much tighter execution window. Meanwhile, competitors like TSMC are introducing similar technologies, but more gradually, with backside power delivery expected only in later nodes, beyond N2. So, Intel is effectively trying to move faster, but with higher risk. This is the real progress. Intel has already started production of early 18A-based chips, including its Ponte Lake processors, which began appearing in early 2026. This is important because it shows the node is not theoretical anymore. However, timelines have shifted. Initial expectations pointed to early high-volume ramp, but production has moved toward late 2025 into 2026, and this matters. Because TSMC's competing N2 node is already ramping in 2025-2026 and already has major customers, like Apple and Nvidia, securing capacity early. So, Intel is not alone in this transition. It is entering a race where competitors already have scale and customers locked in. The most important factor is yield, and here the data is very clear. As early 2026, Intel's 18A yields are estimated to be in the range of 65 to 75%, improving steadily month by month. This is enough for early production, but still below the level required for optimal profitability. For comparison, mature high-volume nodes in the industry typically reach above 90% yield. This gap is critical, because even 15–20% yield difference translates in directly higher cost per chip, and cost determines competitiveness. So, while Intel's architecture is strong, its real challenge is manufacturing efficiency at the scale. 18 is not just about Intel's own products. This is about foundation of Intel's Foundry strategy, and the scale of that strategy is enormous. Intel has committed more than $100 billion in the global manufacturing investments, including major sites in the US and Europe. Each advanced fab costs between $15 and $25 billion, and these fabs require high utilization to be economically viable. So 18A must do more than work technically. technically. It must attract customers, because without external demand, the entire Foundry model becomes difficult to sustain. There are positive signals. Microsoft has announced plans to use Intel's Foundry. Major companies like NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom have tested the process. But testing is not commitment, and so far no major external customer has publicly committed to large-scale 18A production. At the same time, some Intel products are still being manufactured at the TSMC, including next-generation CPUs using N2. This shows that even Intel is hedging its own manufacturing risk, so the industry is still at the validation phase, watching but not fully committing. At the same time, the financial pressure is significant. Intel's Foundry division is currently losing billions annually, while the company continues investing heavily in the new capacity. Meanwhile, competitors are pulling ahead in key markets. For example, NVIDIA data center business alone has exceeded $50 billion annually, driven by AI demand. So, Intel is trying to rebuild manufacturing leadership, compete in CPUs, and enter the AI market all at the same time, and 18A sits at the center of entire strategy. If Intel executes successfully, the impact is significant. It would create a real alternative to a TSMC at the leading edge. Today, most advanced AI chips from NVIDIA, AMD, and others are manufactured at TSMC. That concentration is structural risk. Even a shift of 10 to 20% of the leading edge production toward Intel would change the global balance. It would diversify supply chains and increase resilience. And this is why 18A matters beyond Intel. Semiconductors are now considered strategic infrastructure. The US CHIPS Act alone allocates over $50 billion to support domestic manufacturing. Intel is one of the central players in that strategy. So, 18A is not just a product. It is part of a broader effort to reshape global semiconductor supply chains. So the real question is not whether Intel will beat TSMC. The real question is whether Intel can become competitive again at the highest level. Because the future of semiconductors may not depend on a single leader. It may depend on having multiple strong ones. And 18A is Intel's attempt to return to that position. So in the end, this is not just a new node. It's about whether execution can finally match ambition and whether Intel can turn one of the most ambitious bets in the semiconductor history into the reality. If you like this episode, like, subscribe, and share with your network. And as always, stay curious, stay sharp, and stay chip aware.